This is something that deeply disturbs me, and it's disturbed me for a long time. I don't know if I'm crazy or you're crazy, but one of us is crazy. So let me explain the health system in all of the Dark Souls games and Demon Souls, and maybe you guys will smell what I'm stepping in here. So, hypothetically, right? This is your health bar in Dark Souls 1. And while it's the average health bar, you cannot change it. If you use a humanity, alright, there's a humanity. If you use it, it just fills up your health bar, but it stays right here. And you have infinite uses, which is cool. Infinite uses is cool, right? That's sick. Super standard. That is your health bar. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, if we go over to Demon Souls, which sadly has the same initials as Dark Souls, whoopsie daisy. This is your average health bar soul level, which is half of your full bar, because when you die you go into soul form and you lose half your health. That's not even halfway through. I'm going to fix that because we need to get it halfway. Let's be real, this is an official, this is a very important video. Halfway, right? So this is where your health is at in Demon Souls. Kind of frustrating. A lot of people don't like this. However, there is a ring in Demon Souls that will increase your health to about 75% of the way up instead of halfway up, which is a huge advantage, and I think most people play like that. So this right here is your actual health during the game. Most people are going to play it and throw on that, I believe it's called the Cling Ring, right? Most people are going to throw that on in Demon Souls. Now, this is where stuff gets crazy. We're going to jump over to Dark Souls 3. This is your health bar in Dark Souls 3. It's your normal health bar. This is what you're usually rocking. It's all good in the hood. However, it's not your maximum health. Your maximum health is going to be when you're embered, which is this bonus area. I believe it's 30% bonus health. This is your max health. This is where you're at. It feels like a buff in Dark Souls 3 here, and it's an ember, of course, right? Cool, crazy. So, and if you're like me, I always save these consumables because I don't want to use too many of them. I do use them. I've gotten better with using them more liberally, but first time I played, I definitely held on to a lot of them and also sucked at the game, so I was dying a lot. So I didn't have this boost very often. Now, this is the important part of the video. This is the whole reason why I'm making it. Let me outline for you guys the Dark Souls 2 health bar. This is how it works in Dark Souls 2. This is like your minimum health right here. That if you die a lot, you're gonna be at. You're gonna be living in half health zone, just like in Demon Souls, which everyone hates. It's terrible. We all get it. However, there's a ring that will allow you to get to 80% of your max health while in your lowest hollowed form. So that's like here, right? If you're wearing the ring, you can get up to here in Dark Souls 2, meaning that you're 20% of your max health in Dark Souls 2. What am I trying to get at here? In Dark Souls 2, when you're in your lowest form, if you are wearing the ring, you are at a bigger advantage than when you're in Dark Souls 3, not wearing the ring and not embered. Why am I bringing this up? Because I actually like the Dark Souls 2 health system, which I know is a crazy opinion. People don't like it when you say this. In Dark Souls 3, the embered form is your most powerful with the max health, and it feels like a buff, right? You are buffing yourself when you're in that form, even though most of the time you're going to be sitting probably right there. In Dark Souls 2, being here feels like a nerf. There's no way that's how you spell nerf. I've never had to spell that before. Just roll with it. That's how we're spelling nerf on this channel. It feels like a nerf, but it is only 20% of your max health decrease, as opposed to Dark Souls 3, which is a 30%. So technically, you have more health in Dark Souls 2 in your hollowed form than you do in Dark Souls 3 in your non-embered form. Am I crazy? Am I absolutely insane? This obviously this feels like a nerf and this feels like a buff, but this is just the health bar that you're given. It's just formatted to you differently. And obviously Demon Souls, it kind of sucks. Like this feels horrible. Why does this feel so much horrible than in Dark Souls 2? Well, let me go down here. In Dark Souls 2, let's say this is your human form health bar, you know, little HP. Every time you die, you only lose a little tick mark of health until you're halfway down your health bar, and then this is where it stays. That's like the lowest it's going to go, right? But this is 1 death, 2 death, 3 death, 4 death, 5 death, right? It's slowly going down. In Demon Souls, you start here, 1 death later you're here. That is so much worse. That hurts your soul, literally, soul. Oh my god, I said the word. So it's just so much worse after that 1 death, where in Dark Souls 2, it's just a little bump, And then, you could also, in Dark Souls 2, I'll go 1 lower, you can wear that ring. So this is the lowest you're possibly going to go. And, every time you die, the tick marks are smaller, actually. You get, it's like, I believe it's the same amount of deaths, but you only go down to here, instead of down to here. It's slower, it's less painful. It's really cool. So, to recap. Demon Souls kind of sucks that it takes half of your health right off the bat. Dark Souls 2, it only takes a little bit of your health at a time, which is so much more forgiving towards the player. Also, in Dark Souls 3, you are always in this nerf state unless you buff yourself with an Ember, which gives you 30% extra health. So you're kind of always, if you're not Embered, in this 30% deficit. In Dark Souls 2, if you're wearing the ring, you're only at a 20% deficit when you're fully hollowed, which is low-key more health than in Dark Souls 3. It's more. Simply put, it is more. And now for my final point to this crazy rant, which maybe someone in the comments, you should check the comments right now, maybe someone is debunking me and I'm a freaking fool, but I've just thought about this for a while, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like, I'm cool with being wrong. This is something that has lived in my brain that I wanted to express to you lovely people. Okay, this is another reason why I really like the Dark Souls 2 health bar. Okay, I'm drawing it for the last time, I swear. So, let's say I'm wearing the ring. This is my minimum health. This is my max. Right? And I've died 10 times. I don't know exactly how many times you have to die to get to your min. But let's say I died 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. Let's say I died 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times instead of 10. I died 7 times. I'm now chilling here in my min. I now know that this is the perfect time to use a human effigy. Like, this is literally the perfect time. I died 7 times. Put me back here so I can start this journey again of hopping down. So I'm actually using my human effigies every single time I get to this spot right here. Instead, in something like Dark Souls 3, I just save these. I just save these embers. I never ever use these embers. Again, I've gotten better at this. I'm not as stingy with my embers, but the first playthrough, I never ever use the embers because they feel like a valuable resource, so I'm never getting this buff. In Dark Souls 2, I know for a fact, as soon as I get to here, I get the maximum reward for using a human effigy, and I set myself back to full health. Also, I was wrong. There's another point. There's a whole nother point. Something that all 3 of these guys right here, all 3 of these guys have in common. You have to level up health by itself, right? So it costs, you know, however many souls it costs to level up health at all. In Dark Souls 2, there's a passive health buff that is always happening. Every single level, your health goes up by a little bit, or you could level up health by itself and it goes up a lot. So the health is always increasing, so you're increasing your health at a much rapid rate in Dark Souls 2 as opposed to every other From Software game, pretty much. So, moral of the story, I have lost my mind. This is me. Lost my mind, and Dark Souls 2 health bar isn't that bad. And of course, if you could, leave a comment if I'm wrong or if I'm right, and subscribe.